Hi guys! In this video we're going to learn how to do the embroidery design using the Adobe Illustrator. Working in the fashion industry, creating the garment design, we face the need to be able to produce the embroidery that will look nice, pleasant for the eye, at the same time will preserve certain quality that will be sufficient for the factory, and at the same time will be time efficient, because we need to know how to do the embroidery fast enough, because of course we have a bunch of stuff on our. So the most common situation that I personally have is to create the embroidery that will fit into certain textile design. So in this particular case, I would pull the motifs for my embroidery design from my textile design. In order to do that, I would use either NetGraphics or Photoshop. After saving some designs, I would bring my picture. First of all, I would reduce colors using Photoshop, because if I want to use picture as a reference in Illustrator, I will think about the amount of threads that I'm going to use, and my embroidery needs to be price competitive, which means that it might have as less colors of threads as possible. At the same time, right now, actually, we're starting to do actual embroidery. What we're going to do is select elements of our design, then go into Effect, Stylize, Scribble. We are going to get to this little menu with Scribble options, and we're going to play with them. The most popular that I'm using is Tight. In my settings, I may try to make stroke width slightly thicker and spacing slightly bigger. Say like this, and maybe try this one. Too much. Then maybe we'll reduce spacing again up to 4. Too much. Let's try to do like 5. As you see, the program is sensitive enough, so even these small changes in the settings panel already are reflected in the design. All right, I like it. Maybe I will just change a little bit my angle to make embroidery more aligned. So this is what I got. Then I'm going to the next element. Stylize, Scribble. My last settings, these settings, are going to be remembered by the program, so it's pretty easy to be consistent in the design. Doing this, then Effect, Stylize, Scribble. Here, then here. It is called custom in my settings, but basically, as you remember, it's Tight version of Scribble. Right? Then Scribble a few more times. Okay. Doing this. Then doing this. And a few more times playing with Scribble. And we're going to be done. So as you see, this way of doing embroidery is very easy and it's pretty playful, so You can create your own little designs, play with them. Effect, stylize, scribble. Yep. And going here. And voila, you are done. You have beautiful embroidery design. Factory as a reference for the amount of colors that I want to have, I would keep it pretty flat. I wouldn't add any extra glows or shine to my threads because this is just the reference. In order, if I need to achieve more pleasant aesthetic look, I would polish my embroidery in Photoshop. So I would say first step, I would save the file as is in Illustrator. Then I would go to Photoshop. I would open my file in Photoshop. It's right here, flower embroidery. Right. Here everything is good. Click OK. Okay. Nice. So now, first of all, I would get rid of my background. Here, I would go to select, color range, background. There are multiple ways of doing that. This is just one of the ways that I like. Right? Then layer new, viewer cut. Okay, good. Now I just have my embroidery. Now I select the one layer that I'm going to work with. I'm going to layer style, satin. And as you can see, there is some effect that was applied to my embroidery design. I'm going to play with the settings that I have here. Let's say I'm going to the inner shadow. I do it like very little. Try to do it like this. See what kind of settings I like. This one looks okay to me. I'm going to have it pretty small. Maybe change the angle a little bit. So we have our neckline, and we're going to save our embroidery as a brush. Like this. Click it here, pattern brush. Fix our corner. Click OK. And then we're going to select our stroke and hit our brush. And we're going to get some brushes, some embroideries in our neckline. Then maybe we're going to change the scale of our daisies. Click OK one more time. Going to select another neckline and get the smaller embroidery. Then we're going to make sure that our stroke doesn't have any color. Oops. And then do it one more time. Brush is this. And then maybe we want to duplicate this one right here. Want to change the scale of our neckline. Let's make it dramatic. Let's make like 150% bigger. With preview we see it's big, maybe even more. Let's do 170. Okay, and now we're done. You see some embroidery designs, and by using this simple tool you can play with your embroideries, create different shapes, different scales. Yeah, and keep it pretty neat and polished.